is, then you'll have that. When you finish your chores, then you can watch TV. We're not telling them what to do. We're not. We're not saying you have to do this. We're just stating the rules of the game. That's it. With boundaries, it's the same thing. You're stating the rules of how you want the game to be played. And I've told this to my clients before, and then they're so frustrated. They come to me frustrated with their relationships, right? And they're like, "Oh, I'm so sick of this, and I'm so frustrated." And I'm like, "Of course you're frustrated. You've been playing his game. You've been playing the game. He throws the ball at you, and you grab it and throw it back at him. And it's this game, back and forth, back and forth. You're playing his game, and." You don't like the game, but yet you keep grabbing the ball and throwing it back at him, right? So you want to change the game? Then you have to set up the rules. You have to know what game are you playing, and you have to state those rules. So when he comes at you, when the people come at you and they want to play their game, you're like, no, 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 not playing your game. You want to play my game? Here it is. These are the rules. If you do blank, then I will blank. Okay. So that's really quick. Boundaries. When you're setting up boundaries, I know it's hard for people pleasers, for moms. Oh, my mama heart. I know. I think for moms it's harder because we're such loving and caring and giving people. So I think for us it's a little bit harder to set up boundaries. For me, it took me years. So hang on. It might take you years too. Hey, and it's okay. Be patient and loving with yourself when it comes to setting up boundaries. Notice the fears that come up when you think about setting up boundaries in your marriage, things that you're willing to do and things that you're not willing to do, things that you don't want to talk about and things that you want to talk about. Like, what are the things that you want to set boundaries around in your marriage? I know that it might be hard. What are the fears that come up when you do that? For example, in my marriage, like sometimes it's hard for me to talk about money, right? That I have so much mind drama about money from generations and generations of money drama, that for me that's a difficult topic. And so I know that around that I need to set up boundaries in my relationship. And yeah, we need to sit down and talk about it. And when we talk about it, this is if it escalates, then I'm gonna walk away because I want to actually end it with a solution. Okay. So notice the fears that you have around setting up boundaries. And also notice what are the benefits of you establishing this boundary. How will it benefit both of you? Because trust me, it'll benefit both of you. If you say, while I'm in my office, nobody comes and bothers me. Why is you setting up that boundary? Why is you saying during 9 to 12, the door is closed and I cannot, I'm off mom and wife duty. If you come in, I might snap. I am not going to respond. Whatever it is that you will follow through with. And why is it important for you to have that? Notice that for me, I would think, right, it's important so then you can stay focused, finish your work fast, and then you can be free and have more of the mental and energy to focus on being the mom, being the wife for the rest of the day, right? Why is it important that you set this boundary up? And then how, again, going back to how will you ensure that you honor your boundary? Because again, this is another thing that most people get wrong when it comes to setting up a boundary. Most people think that once you set up the boundary, people are going to follow through. Funny. You're so funny, right? We're hilarious. Again, we're switching the music on people and they're not going to like it. They're not, they've been playing the same game. They're not going to like it. So we are the only ones responsible to ensure that the boundaries set, that the boundaries followed through, and the consequences are followed through, that the boundaries honored. So it is our responsibility and nobody else's. You don't just say, I don't want you to bring me presents and then just expect people to do it. No, people don't like to be told what to do. Do you like people to tell you what to do? Even if you don't want to do things, do you like doing things? No. You like doing things because you want to, because it's what you love, right? So you're the one that has to ensure that that boundary is honored. Okay. So now that we have that part set, I want you to, let's think about addressing the boundary violation, right? Again, going back to the beginning, let's say you already told them, I don't want you to complain about this person when we're talking. If you do, I am going to change the subject. If you do, I am going to hang up, right? We established the boundary. Or like my client said, like my follower said, if you yell while we're communicating, I will walk away. Or if you bring the kids after 8 o'clock, I will not answer the door. Right? We set up the boundary. Let's say they come in, they violate, they cross the boundary. They yell, they bring the presents, they bring the kids at 9, right? What do you do? Okay, because now you're triggered, he's triggered. What do we do? This is where working with a coach is so important. This is where working on your emotional maturity is crucial. This is where working on holding space for your emotions and his emotions comes so handy. This is where you get to grow and stretch the most. When you are an observant of your emotions, your thoughts about the situation, and his emotions and his thoughts about the situation, when you just get to look at it. Oh my gosh, this happened to me last weekend, and I was amazed at myself because I was watching this unfold. I was triggered, right? I was feeling neglected, right? I was thinking in my head, he doesn't care about me. And then he was telling me, I'm feeling also neglected. Now I'm not feeling valued. I'm not feeling appreciated. So he was telling me that. And my first instinct was, of course, react, Elisa, react. But then, and it took a second, right? A split second. And then I was like, wait a minute, we're both being triggered. Yes, look how beautiful this is. And I was just observing. I was feeling it in my body. Oh my gosh, I feel my throat closing up. I feel my shoulders getting tense. I feel my arms getting tense. Oh, yeah, you're angry, Elisa. Yeah. And I was just talking to myself, right? On the inside. And here I was trying to, like in my head, I was having this whole conversation about what I wanted to tell him. Oh, really? You don't appreciate me, right? Like I was just observing. I was like, yeah, I can see why I would think that if I'm feeling unappreciated. Oh, I can see why he's feeling that way. Yeah. Oh my gosh. If I were him, I would also think that way and feel unappreciated and not cared for. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is what I was able to do. And this is what I help my clients do. Hold space for the triggers. And those happen all the time. When you put two people together in a relationship that come from different backgrounds and have different personalities, it's bound to happen. We are going to trigger and push each other's buttons until we die. So the better you get at holding space for you to just observe your triggers, your trauma responses, and his triggers and his trauma responses without making it mean anything about you, anything about them, or anything about the relationship. You're just observing at that moment. Oh, I see that he's angry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the beautiful part comes right after you have done the work, when you get to hear from your spouse after, I mean, they, even if they never done therapy, even if they never done coaching, after you have done the work and you're able to hold space for your emotions and his emotions, you're able to hear your spouse say, you know what? Those are my thoughts and my emotions, and I will handle them. It has nothing to do with you. I'm going to take care of them. I know how to take care of myself. I got this. Can you imagine being able to do that? Being able to be in a relationship where you get to hold space and then hear your spouse tell you that? It is possible. It's possible. I made it happen. My clients are able to do this all the time. You can too. But it starts with you being able to hold space for yourself first. And when you're being triggered, when someone just crossed your fence and the alarms are going off, it's like sirens, right, are going off, and all you see is red. This is where you get to just hold space, where you get to just become an observer of what is happening without making it a problem. So this is where I want you to check in with yourself. This is where you get to pause and think. Okay. So now your boundary has been violated, right? I want you to think about, what does it mean to stand up for yourself? Okay. Because at this moment, you must be thinking, I have to stand up for myself. Someone just crossed my boundary. Someone just crossed my fence, right? They came over. I need to stand up. I need to look bigger, right? I need to defend myself. So I want you to think about this, okay? Because again, we're being triggered. So when we're hurt, we tend to get bigger and want to fight. So think about, what does it mean for you to stand up for yourself? What does it mean? For the first 11 years of my marriage, for me standing up for myself, because I grew up as a child being neglected, and I was just number 7 of 8. I didn't have a personality. Nobody stood up for me. I was just, the little ones. Yeah. My mom even didn't even remember my name. She had to go through like the 7 names, like 6 names before she said mine. So I was neglected as a child. So when I got married and I had kids, I took on the role to defend myself and defend my children at all cost, which meant trampling over my husband's emotions, feelings. It was at all costs. I have to stand up for myself because nobody else did. So now I do, right? And you're not, so I have to, right? So I took on this role, but I did it at what cost? Is it really necessary for you to stand up for yourself? I just want you to, we're not doing anything. I don't want you to change your mind. We just calm down. Like, okay. We're just throwing questions out there. Okay. So what does it mean to stand up for yourself? And is it really necessary for you to stand up for yourself? And at what expense? Is it at the expense of hurting other people's feelings? Of devaluing someone else? Is that even a word? Not valuing the other person's emotions, feelings, triggers. What is it costing you? Is it costing you your relationship? Is it costing you